Suppose you went to a posh carrying case and were looking at a $38,000 Hermès Birkin bag. You've always dreamed of owning such a magnificent piece that represents wealth, elite, and high society. The kicker here, you didn't know that this champion only costs under $1,400 to make in China. Yes, you heard that right. This iconic bag costs 25 times its production cost to be sold and is created by Chinese manufacturers for a mere $1,400. And it's not just the Birkin. Choose Lululemon yoga pants, a badge of convenience, as well as a symbol of high-end athleisure. They come in retail for $98, but they are under $5 to make. So what's going on here? Why such a massive markup on these products? How much is luxury? Unsurprisingly, the jaw-dropping revelation comes from the unexpected source, TikTok. Videos have started to circulate on Chinese social networks showing the production of many luxury goods, revealing how much the things that cost numerous thousands of dollars are manufactured, and it isn't much. Such have been the criticisms of brands like Hermès, Gucci, Prada, and even Lululemon. A trend that took off on TikTok and has gone viral all over the globe, has proven that the luxury market isn't only made up of high-quality materials and shelves deep in a workshop of craftsmen, but also a perfectly developed illusion of exclusivity and premium prices. So why does this matter? This is not only about a few brands getting exposed, but it's the whole system of what we've come to define luxury over the past decades. The news is rocking the very basis of the world of trade, business ethics, and consumer behavior. The deep question that those people's behavior poses is, if people begin to question the luxury goods at their prices, there is a possibility of a very big shift in how we see status, wealth, and exclusivity. It could affect much of the way we consume and how businesses operate. Going on a deep dive into how China has unveiled the curtain of these American luxury giants and what that means for brands, consumers, and entrepreneurs. Make it to the end because we have a game changer in terms of a key takeaway that can alter how businesses price luxury goods. If that is the type of insight that you seek, make sure you like, subscribe, and enable the notification bell to be updated about our next videos. We're talking about a viral trend on TikTok, which was the source of this phenomenon. We were in the days when dance challenges and funny memes were starting to go viral, but this was different. This theme was aimed at revealing what the true costs of producing a luxury good truly were. The videos by Chinese manufacturers, who are the very ones behind the creation of many supremely high-end products, started sharing how little it costs to bring these wanted items into existence. It was truly shocking that these revelations could be made public. The iconic Hermès Birkin bag was one of the first viral cases. Priced at around $34,000 to $38,000, this luxury item is one of many considered the ultimate status symbol. One TikTok video blew the lid off, though, revealing that the cost to make this bag is $1,400. In addition, videos of the factories that produce Lululemon yoga pants revealed that for the $98 or so those pants typically retail for, only $5 was required to produce a single pair. So these weren't just rumors or accusations, they were coming from the source of all by way of the factories themselves. It is a whisper that quickly became the talk of the luxury world. There was shock among consumers about the gap between production costs and retail prices. However, why would these manufacturers share these secrets? This revelation happened during a period of high US-China trade tensions, and it's no coincidence. Under President Trump, the US applied a relatively high tariff, with which it frequently hit between 10 and as high as 245%, depending on the goods involved. In response, China imposed tariffs on American products, such as a 125% tariff on luxury goods. After all, some experts have said that this trend in exposing production costs may have been a strategic sector play by Chinese manufacturers because the American luxury brands were being squeezed by these tariffs. This could be interpreted as a response to the trade war, as TikTok would be where prices stemming from which inflation by American luxury brands could and should shed light. The impact was massive. It began as a small trend that then became popular across social media, like getting millions of views. The revelations about the true cost of the luxury goods hit global news, and soon the story was being picked up by mainstream media outlets. This woke up consumers. Many wondered if they were getting value for their money when they began to see the images from Chinese factories used to create these luxury goods. Just as important as quality, it was about whether the sky-high price tags were worth it. Moreover, people began reconsidering whether they were paying for top-quality craftsmanship or just for the prestige of the brand. Having an understanding of how little it costs to produce these luxury goods, it's time to look at the business model that allows brands to sell these goods at such a high price. With an increasingly wide offering of luxury brands, the more prominent ones, especially from high-end American fashion houses, have mastered the art of the exceptional illusion of exclusivity. Its success comes down to high markup pricing. Luxury products are about 10 to 20 times their cost to make. That means products that are set to cost $500 can be sold anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. But why such massive markups? The presence of exclusivity is the answer to this. The high prices of luxurious products aren't limited to raw material or craftsmanship. They're a veneer for an image, status, and lifestyle that comes with ownership of the products. There's a brand like Hermès that has built almost its entire identity around both rarity and scarcity. Capturing the exclusivity, we grab the Birkin bag made in small quantities. It's not the leather a person buys a Birkin for. It's because it represents social status. It is precisely this desire that makes it desirable at a high price tag, which makes these brands charge outrageous prices. The twist is that the end product may read "Made in Italy" or "Made in France," while most of the work was done in China. Luxury items are either made in Chinese factories or receive materials, components, and sometimes even the assembly from Chinese factories. In particular, the designer bag leather, some of the rich clothing fabrics, and even some of the assembly steps are in China. As part of the illusion that a watch is made in Europe, all the final touches are applied, stitching the Made in Italy label in Europe or the US. On closer inspection, however, Chinese factories have a huge role in the production process. With this global supply chain strategy, it helps brands produce at a low cost at the same time having very high retail prices. Well, who really will question a $10,000 price tag, even if the work was mainly done in China, on a bag made in Italy? Of course, luxury brands are speaking out. A defense of their practice that they say TikTok videos are about counterfeits, not about real products, or they have been misleading. For example, Hermès says that their bags are created by master artisans with the most exquisite materials. The truth is, the reality of the situation here is that when a $34,000 bag only costs $1,400 to make, not only are questions asked, but the answers are there as well. Are consumers just willing to pay for a brand's marketing and incredible products that command premium returns for the brand's customers? So now we can discuss some real business implications for luxury brands. So far, they suffer the biggest blow: erosion of consumer trust. These brands of fashion have always relied on the illusion of what is exclusive and what is rare to justify the high prices that you pay for them. So, maintaining that mystique is much harder now that the truth about production costs is out in the open. Consumers are beginning to think that these high prices may be too high, and if so, the sole purpose is to pay for the brand name. This exposure could generate profound ripple effects for the luxury market. With brand pricing of its products changing, others could double down on their marketing, even more so on heritage and craftsmanship. Some might cinch up their supply chain secrecy to maintain the facade of exclusivity. What is clear is, their brand trust has taken a beating, and something they will have to restore. The trend for consumers has been an eye-opener. Today, many begin to doubt the need to spend outrageous amounts of money to purchase luxury items. These days, with platforms like DHgate or Taobao, true salvation for someone trying to walk away from luxury goods is that it's easier than ever to find other, less expensive products. When people find that these items can be so cheap to produce, some people are now buying from the source instead of paying exorbitant amounts for a brand of designer label. This shift may upset the luxury market, being that more and more people are starting to see and understand that they are paying a great deal for something that is so much less than they ever expected it to be. For entrepreneurs, this is a golden opportunity. Retailing under the middlemen using inflated prices has come under scrutiny of the traditional retail model. Those entrepreneurs entrepreneurs who are letting go of the perception of a price for brand prestige and in division jumping whole hog into the direct-to-consumer space stand a chance to taste a juicy new market segment of the population that no longer wants to pay without seeing value in exchange. New businesses can cut out the middleman and provide more transparency to build trust with a more informed, savvy consumer base. The global trade war is having its effect on supply chains, with even more exposés to come. The new relationships between manufacturers and brands are changing tariffs, and so too could be greater transparency around how those products are made and by whom the profits are made. At this moment, it is clear that the balance of power in global supply chains is swinging and transparency is at the center. One key takeaway from all of this: transparency is power. Given that consumers have unlimited access to information through social media, businesses can no longer act like they are behind an expensive product or an exclusive label. Traditionally, marketing has never been able to build loyalty and trust, as well as businesses that are willing to become transparent with their customers. Luxury brands need to rethink the value they offer. No longer are the years' high markups that have served well, as consumers are getting to be more educated and truthful. The type of brands need to demonstrate what makes their goods one of a kind. Even with the customer experience, craftsmanship, and heritage, it's got to be clear and honest. This change in consumer behavior affords entrepreneurs the ability to be unique. We are seeing more and more of these direct-to-consumer models, and one way that you could differentiate a lot right now is with transparent pricing in a very crowded market. Providing high-quality products priced fairly and being transparent about how they're made will create demand for an ethical, honest business attitude in which you are making your products the way you say you are. My advice to businesses: audit your supply chain, examine the openness and transparency in your production process, and determine whether it can be improved. According to the consumers, they want to feel that they are buying a good product, and transparency is the key. Overall, China's viral exposé has exposed us to the true workings of the luxury goods market and how much of the luxury price actually goes into the product as opposed to the brand. Transparency is real now, and businesses that do not adapt will be left behind. Now, I want to hear from you. Once you have learned all of this, would you continue to purchase luxury products, not knowing what goes into them to make these products? Or is the price justified as a result of brand exclusivity? Let the thoughts drop in their comments. Don't forget to subscribe, as I video at least once a week, and certainly hit that notification bell for all the latest business and global industry trends. Will luxury brands be able to endure such a wave of transparency, or are we witnessing the break of a new age of consumer empowerment? Time will tell. Thanks for watching.